And we are live. Just 1 second, guys. Just gonna actually retweet this quickly. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to Box Football, and we are here reacting to just the Euros quarterfinals. Oh my days! England destroy and put on a not I won't say vintage, but an un-England like performance, and England made it look easy. Not just easy, Jack. They won 4-0, beating Ukraine. Like, I get it. Ukraine ain't the greatest team of all time. They don't have the stars of like other nations, but it's still a European quarterfinal. Big game. And England pull up that type of performance. Like, the game was done after like the 60th minute.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, James, England's best performance. Like, no other words for it. I think the fact that, Jordan Pickford barely played a part, the defense looked solid, but there weren't any major kind of defensive efforts that we could really think of. I think a lot of the players going forward had their best games, if not their better games. And yeah, okay, it's Ukraine, but like you've just said, this is a European quarterfinal. If you don't think that that's going to play on the mind of the people taking part, then you're crazy. And England's best performance so far, James. England are starting to play well when it matters most, and I'm excited.
Yeah, Jack. Like, just like you, this is the best I've seen England ever play in any sort of big match scenario. I don't care about the opposition. I'm talking about the quality of the football. From start to finish, they were tremendous. Had the mishaps with a few passes gone astray, a few passes into Ukraine players, but a game isn't always 100%. You're gonna have your misdemeanors, but overall they were terrific. And I feel like the boost that it got from the stand 11 when you seen Jadon Sancho was in it, and also the performance that he brought to the game, just with Kane and Sterling, had a huge influence on the team. Mason Mount, who seems like he can't do nothing wrong, come in after COVID and slotted in, had a terrific game. Too. And go on, Jack.
No, just I liked Sancho's game, and I think there were a couple little bits where you went, oh my God, like, this guy's the real deal. Like, I'm excited for him for the next 10 years for England. But I don't think he proved everybody, like me, for example. I don't think he proved me right from a standpoint where it's like, I mean, if he'd have been playing the whole time, oh my God, I think he was good, but I don't know if he was great. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's fair. Same with Mount. I think Mount came in and was good, but
yes,
I don't know if
Silver
Mount
Surfer,
was
it
great.
is coming. It is coming home. And let me tell you, Silver Surfer, you're actually not wrong at this moment in time, because I feel something. But Jack, carry on.
No, just, I think the general idea, looking at it, is just a couple of, I don't want to overly blow up people's performances. I think it's Sterling's best game of the tournament. I know he didn't strictly score, but I think it was his best game of the whole tournament, personally. I think Kane was pretty average, just generally across the board. And realistically, sorry, James, 1 second.
Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Sammy. Go.
Yeah, no, I don't want to gloss over or blow anybody up too much, but yeah, Kane standard, Mount standard, Sancho again, like I say, I'd have loved to see more from him, but standard, defensively solid, and the midfield did their thing. For me, Sterling's best performance of the whole tournament, personally.
So we got Sammy right there. Harry, is it
Sammy? Harry is in a hurry. Harry's in a hurry to score more penalties and more tap-ins to claim Golden Boot.
Just another quick one from Silver Surfer here, Jack.
I got to say it. You were right. Sterling over Sancho.
Thank you, Silver Surfer. But I would say I was right. I feel like they both played well, but Sterling's influence, you can see Sterling's influence on this team massively.
Sterling's best game. Hands down, Sterling's best game. And Sancho, again, it's like you're throwing, to me, he hasn't played basically the whole tournament, and you're just kind of throwing him in. I don't know if that's strictly fair, to assess him just on that performance. But we can't take anything away from Sterling. Sterling's best performance, like James, he was attempting take-ons, even though like occasionally he got tackled. But for me, the fact he's even trying, I was like, oh my God, this is Liverpool Raheem Sterling. Like, this is the guy I want to see.
Oh, we have a comment here, Jack.
Adrian Silva, hey guys, hello from India. Crazy celebrations for our colonizers going to the semis. Like, okay, I don't
wow, wow, Adrian, quite interesting. You're right. He's not wrong there. But listen, England is playing well. Give them you have to give them their flowers right now. Just remember also to hit that subscribe
yeah.
button too.
But, I don't know how to take that comment, mate.
Yeah. Listen, we can get along about what England's done in the past, but what they're doing right now is winning, and they are on their way to the semi-finals. Jack, you mentioned Sterling. We had a spat about what is Sterling. Are you like why are you not a fan of him? Why are you not supporting him? But he came more big today. And Jack, the one thing I got from especially from that assist was that Sterling made that goal, and not just made that goal, he forced Harry Kane to run.
Kane had James. Kane, in a weird way, Kane had nothing to do with it. Kane had nothing to do with it.
It was almost like
Sterling got a set of handcuffs, right, and just went, "Okay, Harry, you're running here, and best of luck."
Jack, we have another comment here for you.
Okay, sorry, 2 seconds. Adrian Silva already did. Jack is the GOAT analysis. Love him. Hey, dude, appreciate you. Thank you very much for that.
Appreciate the love for Jack, but just going back to Sterling, that pass to me was just put into an area where a striker just dreams. Harry Kane wasn't on the shoulder like, oh, he was going for the ball. He just happened to realize, oh, that's a great ball. I can actually get to that with the way it passed, and he got to that. It wasn't like it was an amazing finish. He got a toe to it, hit off the goalkeeper's chest. But when your luck is in, your luck is in.
The one thing I will say, I think he did intentionally try and lift it. I saw with the technique, there was a certain level of I think he did. But again, James, that's not Harry Kane going, oh, I'm going to be clever here. Oh, I hope he sees me. I'm going to be clever here and do a run. No, Sterling's just gone, I've drawn 2 people and I'm going to play you a little reverse ball. And if you don't get there, that's on you. But luckily, Kane was alert to it and got there. Like I said, James, we can't knock that. My issue with, I think, a lot of the analysis so far on Sterling is like people are talking about him like God's gift. And I'm not watching the same game as everybody else. This was Sterling's best game and he didn't even score.
Jack, my thing with Sterling is that I don't think he's had an outstanding tournament. I don't think a lot of England players have had outstanding tournaments, but to me, out of all of them, he's been the best one. Why? Because he's got them out of tough moments, and he's also produced big moments at big times. I'm sorry, that Germany game was going nowhere. All right, he gets it. He drives into the box, the 1-2, and then he's in the air.
Jack Grealish won us that Germany game. Let's be clear. Jack Grealish
No. I felt like Sterling actually scares people.
Okay, Sammy.
Sammy,
relax.
Sammy. I'm taking this off. I might have to. If I could delete that comment, I'm going to block that comment in a minute. Come on, Sammy. Don't play games like that with me right now.
James,
yes, Silver Surfer, you're right. Clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. What's going right for us? I just think, you know what it is?
James, quick question.
Yeah.
Is it crazy to you that after years of Ferdinand, Terry, Adams, our most confident and competent international pairing is Maguire and Stones? Doesn't that just blow your mind?
No, because I don't believe that football's at the heights that it used to be. Like, Jack, are you going to compare Germany at their best, Italy at their best, Spain at their best to now? England are getting the job done. I don't listen. I don't put
That's what I'm saying.
You can't take none away from that. They're getting the job done right now. But my thing with this Gareth Southgate is that you can see the discipline. I actually went back I looked at teams who've won tournaments. And majority of the time, it isn't this flamboyant, fantastic football. I know the one thing about England that they've always let you down because they've never really played well, and they always had the handbrake. And we wanted to see them to express themselves. But the fact of the matter is, Jack, to win tournaments, you have to be pragmatic. You have to somehow find a way. You have to get results. You have to be defensive in a way. Like, Jack, France 2018. Let's be truthfully honest here. France weren't spectacular. They weren't great. To me, they played well twice, and that was the second half against Argentina and also the final.
When it mattered.
Yeah, like
And
when
the
it
most
mattered.
important game, right?
Like they kept on grinding out games, and like they did that the whole time. Spain, when they won the World Cup in like 2018, they conceded 1 goal, actually 2 goals.
Yeah.
The whole of the knockout stage, they did not concede. They won 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, and that's what England have to do. Sammy, we accept your apology.
We knew you were joking, mate. Don't worry about it. Adrian Silva, Denmark was the last team to beat England at Wembley. Hey, man,
Listen,
I'm telling you, like,
Adrian. Go on, Jack. Go on.
No. I was just gonna say, if this was at a neutral venue, I'm not kidding. I would like be really, really afraid that Denmark would come through and do it. But the fact that it is at Wembley, I'm just a little bit like, you know what? I feel pretty confident.
England should feel confident, but this won't be one that everyone would be expecting them to win. Everyone, England's definitely going to win, because Denmark are a problem. Like, generally, they are a serious problem. They have goals to them, and also, Jack, as we established before, they can defend at a high level. They have some very, very, very good defenders. To me, it's going to be a very, very cagey game. Yeah?
Yes.
And it might be a one where you might get 1 goal to kind of ice it, and then maybe get a second goal late on. But it's going to be such a tough game for England. This isn't one that England are going to come out thinking, oh yeah, we're definitely in. Because the weird thing of this Christian Eriksen thing has added a bit more complex to what's going on with this Denmark team. Because, Jack, think about it. Denmark, from the first 2 games, had 0 points. 0 points, and they somehow are now in the semifinals. How does that make sense? You know,
I think you hit the nail on the head, mate. And I don't want to be cruel or rude about it or anything, but yeah, it is the Eriksen thing, and unfortunately, it's one of these things as well where you look at, like, if you're a neutral, right? First of all, most neutrals are going to support the underdog. How about supporting an underdog with a likable character who just had no swearing, just had a cardiac arrest, right? Different, like, if you're looking for a team to get behind, Denmark's going to be your team. And trust me, if this was Germany at this stage of the competition, I'd be supporting Denmark too.
We got Sammy right now. Just keep forward far away from the pitch. Listen,
Sammy, I'm sorry. I agree with you, mate. I think, again, he's been largely found out outside of that Man City, Pep system.
Well, like, he came into this tournament being England's first choice player. He should be in front of everyone. He's not even second choice. He's not even third, fourth, or fifth, or sixth choice at this moment of time. Saka's ahead of him. Sancho's ahead of him. Grealish is ahead of him. Mount's ahead of him. Sterling's ahead of him. They're all ahead of him. But listen, with Phil Foden, it's the English media pushing that narrative when they see a half-decent technical player. He's a good player and will go on to do great things, but they just, them man just need to chill right now. We have another comment from Silver Server.
And I agree with you, mate. Like, let's be totally clear. I'm not ruling out Phil Foden having some meteoric rise over the next 5 years, and we start talking about him as one of the best midfield talents we've seen in a long time. But let's be honest, as of right now, starting for England, that's not his bag yet. Silver Surfer, what do you guys think about Højbjerg, Spurs fans? I think he's a baller. I want to know your neutral view. Okay, so I am neutral because I don't support Denmark. I don't support Spurs. I love the guy. And I think if you guys saw me on a football pitch, he might remind you a little bit of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. It's not particularly flashy, but he's maybe doing the simple things well, putting the challenges in and trying to be a bit of a leader. I really like the guy. And I think he's a good fit for Spurs and an essential part of this Denmark team.
Do you know what it is? Højbjerg, I wouldn't call him a baller, but he's a player that, if you're a manager and a certain type of manager, he fits your mold. Like to me, like a Jose Mourinho. Like, if you're picking an England team right now and you have to pick between Declan Rice and Højbjerg, I'm sorry, Jack, I'm going for Højbjerg over Declan Rice. Am I am I wrong in this situation? Everything that they bring to the table, I feel Højbjerg is just that inch better than him. And the fact of the matter, go on, Jack.
Well, as an all-rounder, I think you're absolutely bang on. But again, what we know about football is you have to apply the context to the situation, right? Like, do I think Rice would be a better fit for Spurs right now than Højbjerg? No, I think they need Højbjerg more than they would need a Rice. However, I think that if Højbjerg went to a West Ham situation and they lost Rice, I think that West Ham would be worse off. It very much depends. I would pick Højbjerg over Rice at this point of each of their careers, but it depends on the situation.
Do you know what? Like Højbjerg is someone that I want on my team for what he does. Like he does the dirty stuff so well to that point, and like he's also a player that is very crafty and nasty. You don't see what goes around with him, but like he does, he's the guy that would leave something on you at a time. You're walking past him, you give you a little nudge here or there. Those are the parts of the game that people don't really talk about that much, but he does it well and has needed it, like in a midfielder of his type. And again, like I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think he's a very good player.
Let's be fair. This guy's not making any FIFA 11s. This guy isn't making any Ballon d'Or shortlists. You know, he's probably never going to play for one of those elite, legendary level kind of clubs. But if we're being honest, if you're looking for a guy, you know, James, I liken him to one of my old favorites, Kevin Strootman, for example, right? Who's going to be a guy, he's going to put the work in, he's going to be good, he's never going to let you down, defensive work rate's there, all that stuff, but he's never going to do the thing to win you the game.
We got Andre Silva right here. Denmark is similar to Greece 2004. That might be the case. Generally, that honestly might be the case. If they do win it, first of all, why Denmark 2004? What about Denmark 1992 when they actually won the competition and shocked the whole world? And people say that was a shock. Denmark winning it in 1992 was even more of a shock because their best player didn't play. They weren't actually in the competition. They were only they only joined the competition because I think what team dropped out, like the Soviet. I'm not sure what team dropped out, but they ended up randomly being in a competition and like they won it. That to me is more crazy than what Greece did. I get it, Greece was a shock, but you not being in a competition in the first place is just mad.
But I understand the comparison. That's all I'm trying to say. Sammy, if Foden can't get in as a cam, don't play him in England. They have a lot of top wingers. Yeah, I agree with you. But what I would say to you, Sammy, is even if he's on the bench, there's a certain level of flexibility which it gives to somebody like Gareth Southgate. You know, like you know, for example, you know, once you have an 11, you don't stick to whatever formation and roles those are. You want to make sure that with regards to the rest of the squad, that there's going to be certain flexibility levels so that you can do one thing or another, and just, you know, allow the tactical flex. But, you know, you could come up against a Germany who are going to play a back three in terms of centre backs, and you want to make sure that you have players to fulfill certain other roles, etc., etc.
Jack, I just want to bring up a few more things with you.
Yeah.
Italy. Yeah. How do you feel about Italy at this moment in time? They beating, to me, the favourites as soon as France went out. Belgium. Yeah. They are playing outstanding football. Can Italy go the whole way?
Oh yeah. I mean, like, James, let's not get it twisted. It's a huge drop off for them in terms of kind of talent and all that kind of stuff when you're looking at the fullback positions. And yeah, you know, you may think that I'm being like a Roma super fan here, but you go from Florenzi and Spinazzola. No, yeah, but so you go from Florenzi and Spinazzola to Emerson and Di Lorenzo, like there is a significant drop off there. Chiellini could not have come back at a better time. It's the best midfield in the tournament. I mean, you know, I know Spain's is very strong, but I think you'd probably say on balance, Italy's is probably the best. And going forward,
Spain midfield is just a bunch of players who all just do the same thing. Like,
right. And the thing is, Italy, you know, there is a team spirit there, and there's a bunch of other kind of crap going on there with regards to making them good. And going forward, James, it's not a team of individuals. You know, we've talked about this 100 times. If you have a threat from loads of different areas of the pitch, then it's not just a case of, oh, let's stop them. You know, we saw that with the Germany game. England stopped the wing-backs, won the game, not comfortably, but they nullified the main German threat. Italy, if you're going to stop Ciro Immobile, you better watch out for Insigne. If you're going to stop Insigne, you've got to watch out for Fede Chiesa. You've got to watch out for Berardi, right? You've got to watch out for Bernardeschi. You know what I mean? And then obviously the wing-back. So they're a threat. They're a threat, but I would say that, you know, England have been very lucky here. Italy have lost some serious players in important positions for them, and England are kind of as strong as they've ever really been in terms of fitness and in terms of form.
Do you know what? When Spinazzola went down, I honestly felt that he was faking it, like, because it was just so random. It looked like it was cramp, and then he pulled his Achilles, like he popped his Achilles,
tore it. Yeah,
like tore it. To me, it was just absolutely devastating. It kills a player having such an amazing tournament.
Adrian, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there, because I'll be talking for the next 20 minutes. Don't go there.
What's
Upsets
like
me.
what's this
Upsets me.
like what's this Roman McCurse? What do you
Oh,
guys
just
have players?
James, injuries. You know, we can't, James, we can't talk about the Italy team without talking about the fact that Lorenzo Pellegrini, who was arguably Roma's best player last year, was going to be part of the squad and then pulled out of the squad with injury. Florenzi in the first or second game pulls out with an injury. Leandro Spinazzola comes out with an injury. I'm fully expecting Brian Cristante to come on as a sub against Spain, do a hamstring, and then go off. And then there are no Roma players left in that Italy team. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. I don't know whether it's bad luck. I don't know whether it's the training regime. I don't know what to tell you, but it's sad. The one that will really crush me is if Nicolo Zaniolo comes back and then does another ACL. That'll kill me.
Sammy just popped out a fantastic question.
Enrique and Mancini are the two best managers in international football right now.
Yeah. Who would you prefer?
Oh God. Thing is, I like Luis Enrique because the only person Luis Enrique listens to is Luis Enrique, and I respect that. As a manager, I respect that.
Yeah.
He has made some ballsy decisions.
Do you know? Since we are speaking about Luis Enrique, let's just talk about Spain and let's talk about Switzerland. So Spain, Switzerland, somehow, some way that game goes into penalties. And Jack, you need to let us know the predictions of like everything. And as soon as I heard penalties, and I was thinking like Switzerland's definitely going to win. Busquets missed the first penalty. Spain somehow find their way into a semi-final. I think he made 10 saves in the game.
Killer. He's a killer.
Like absolutely ridiculous. But as much as he's a killer, Spain can't finish for Jack, for real. And that's is what lets them down.
Highest scorers in the tournament. I mean, maybe it might be England now. Is it England now?
It might be. No.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
Spain.
Yeah, Spain. Like it makes to me, it's this when people talk about high scores. If you look at the chance to conversion rate there, they should be nowhere near it. They scored 5 goals in one game, and they scored 5 goals twice.
There was some extra time there too.
Extra time is it's a bit. I find it a bit mad when
it's definitely reminiscent of Oka against Brazil. Yeah, that's a good chat. No, James, Spain are the better team. The red card hurt them. As much as we can probably look back on it and go back in my day and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the moment you have momentum and the moment you have studs up and you're leading into somebody quote unquote recklessly, you're in danger. To me, that's a yellow card if I'm the referee. But again, I'm not employed by FIFA or UEFA to make these decisions. And unfortunately, James, the cliche is Peter Walton. Every single time, Peter Walton, what do you think? He always is going to side with the referee because he's got the easiest
oh my days, the amount of times they go over there, referee goes, well, letter of the law, referee's right, and I side with him. I'm like,
I hate it.
To me, it wasn't a red card because if you're sliding that way, it's not like you're sliding at him. He's sliding towards him to actually clear the ball.
And he got the ball.
And
he got the ball.
It's like to me, if people say if your studs are showing now, it's now a red card because it's dangerous play. Not every time your studs show makes it a red card to me. And he brings one up right now. Speaking of red cards, did you see that tackle? I watched the game live.
Did you?
Oh my days, Jack! Please just go onto YouTube right now.
And check it.
Please.
I'll check it. I'll check it afterwards. I'm on my phone. It will probably mess me up, but I'll check it after.
Gabriel Jesus, what in the hell was he doing? It was one. Do you remember Nigel de Jong's
against Alonso?
Yes, it was something like that. But it was like one's trying to chest the ball, the other one has his foot in the air, and looked bad. He caught him on the shoulders, spun him. It was a madness. That was such a terrible challenge from Gabriel Jesus. But Brazil won. But Jack, looking at these 2 quarterfinals now, how are you feeling? Is it looking like an Italy England final? Semi-finals. I know.
Yeah, I mean it looks that way. But what I'll tell you is that Italy have not come up against a Spain type team yet. You know, James, if Spain can dominate possession, I don't know what Italy are going to look like. You know, there's some tired legs and some lower quality players there in defence. Now, if Spain can't keep the ball, I expect Italy to win. Of course I do. But if Spain can keep the ball, it could be a close game, or Spain, if they take their chances, could win convincingly. I do think, mainly because it's in Wembley, I do think we'll see England in the final. And then, you know, James, England, Spain, England, Italy, great. You know, I'm not trying to count out Denmark, but the Wembley thing plays a big part for me.
Jack, isn't me, but when I was watching Italy, I felt this is the most un-Italian-like team I've ever watched.
Right,
Jack,
with Chiellini and Bonucci, and like how you'd expect them to just be standard, but they're not at all, are they?
Like it's crazy. You expect them to sit back, but they were on the front foot the majority of the time. And to me, overall, they deserved to win that game against Belgium.
Right.
Like Belgium had 1 or 2 spells, like here there, but Italy were on the front foot the whole time. That midfield of Jorginho, Verratti, who's in like who's the third one?
Nicola
Barella in there. Jack, it was scintillating, absolutely scintillating. Chiellini and Bonucci, they're not sitting back. Jack, they're at the halfway line pressing. Everyone is going. This is so un-Italian like, and like when they go forward, they don't have a premier scorer. They have a bunch of players who can score goals. Immobile,
right?
I'm sorry, Jack. I can see why Immobile hasn't been looked at that level. Like, I get it, he scores lots of goals in Serie A, but he's just not at that level to me. Like just watching him chances, it wasn't.
What I'd say though, James, is he reminds me somewhat of Kane, because I don't think you look at Kane as a great athlete or a great dribbler or a great, you know what I mean? Like he's never going to create his own chances, but Immobile is that guy where if he does have the chance, most of the time he is going to score. You know, it's all about having those chances. That's why I kind of draw the similarity with Kane. Now, obviously, Kane's done it on a higher level than Immobile historically, but I think the main thing with Italy is you go from Immobile to Belotti. It's not that big of a drop-off. Like, let's be honest, it's not that big of a drop-off. Need to thank Zdenek Zeman, ex-AS Roma, for this revolution with Pescara in 2011. He changed the Italy mentality. You might be onto something there. I would need to do my research on that one. This Italy don't give up possession, Jack. Yeah, I mean, you may be right, but I mean, you know those Spaniards, man. If they don't touch the ball, then that's Spain's job.
Listen, I tweeted this thing, like, Spain look like a team that train with no football goals, Jack. They'll pass you to death. Inshallah. Right. Pass with no real substance. You know, that game against Switzerland should have been out of sight. Extra time was not needed. And even in extra time, it was just more safe from Jan Sommer. He didn't really look like conceding because you didn't feel Spain were going to score. No. They were going to come close and close and close. And now you're going to do that against the Italians, who, if you watch that last 20 minutes, that was one of the worst bit of football I've ever seen. Because around 8 minutes of that last 20 minutes was just Italy just slowing the game down, defending for their lives. And I just said, like I think it was Belgium had the ball out wide. The ball was crossed in from like Torgan Hazard, and like from the front post, it was headed away by Chiellini. I just said in my head, like, Italy could do that for 120 minutes.
Yeah.
They could easily defend like that on the edge of their box for 120 minutes. And I get it, Spain. This isn't the Spain team of old where, Jack, your players coming from everywhere. The quality is not there. I feel Italy are going to make this look easy against Spain.
And James,
make this look easy.
We've already talked about the midfield rotation. You know, anybody who thinks that, like, okay, yeah, Berardi, Verratti, Jorginho, like, yeah, well, Locatelli, Brian Cristante, like, defensively speaking, you still have two guys who can come in and do a fantastic job. And also with somebody like Locatelli, you know, Brian Cristante's playmaking ability is underrated. And Locatelli, we know what he's capable of offensively. We've seen it in this tournament.
So Sammy, right now, I would pay Thiago ahead of Koke, but Enrique is going to get his job.
Good luck changing that man's mind. Seriously, he sticks to his guns.
Do you know what it is? And I think what annoys me about the Spain team is that players on the pitch and players coming on the pitch are all the freaking same. Jack, you have Thiago Alcantara, you have Sergio Busquets in the team. Yeah, you put on Thiago Alcantara. I get it. In build, they're not similar, but the way they play is very, very similar. Ticking the ball over, side to side. Right. Obviously, they'll play their forward passes. there ain't no killers in there. Pedri's probably the only real killer in there. Even like to me, even the wide players, Spain, they annoy me because they all want to do the same thing: come inside, have little pretty passes, like 1-2s. I said in my head that wait, Spain have a player called Adama Traore on the bench who is so different and is so unique in his skill.
There's nobody like him in the competition. Nobody.
Jack, I don't think there's nobody like him in the world for what he does.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
He's sitting there with all these players the same, and I'm like, if you just put this guy on with the way you guys play and flood the area in like home team back and watch him get to the byline.
He's probably playing on the right, okay? So he's got protection from Azpilicueta, right? You can let Alba still do his thing. Azpilicueta can be a bit more defensive. You let Adama do whatever he wants. I totally agree with you, but it's Luis Enrique's gig. You know, nobody's going to tell him different.
You're right there. Spain couldn't score the last game.
James, I got like 60 seconds. I probably got to go.
Guys, unfortunately, Jack's obviously celebrating
social
every English person, obviously social distancing. So we have to go right now. If you are an England fan, if you are a Denmark fan, Italy fan, Spain fan, enjoy your moment, guys. Honestly, you used to appreciate your love right now, but unfortunately, guys, we're actually gonna leave you at this moment of time. It definitely is coming home. But unfortunately, guys, we're going to have to leave. If you haven't already, please, guys, hit that subscribe button. We're going to come live. We might come live tomorrow, or stay tuned for a podcast. Definitely, guys. Please. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the support.
Guys who may be late to this stream, it's only just over half an hour long. So once we finish, go back, rewatch, see what James and I have thought about the games.
Yeah, and guys, if it is coming home, it might be it honestly might be this year. All my days, England.
Two more games at Wembley. James.
2 games away. But again, 2 hard games. Get that right. Denmark seriously are a tough side. And then if you do get Italy, I think if England gets Spain, it's easy.
Oh, dude, I'm not so sure. I think both teams are hard, but we'll see. We got to beat Denmark first.
Italy's a different ball game, but guys, thank you for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit that share button, and also that like button. Thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next time. It's coming home.